Good morning, Colorado. You are listening to the Daily Sun Up. It's a conversation with the Colorado Sun. I'm team editor David Krause. Before we jump into today's conversation, here is a quick message from our sponsor.
Support comes from Credit Union of Colorado, proud to call Colorado home for more than 90 years. They are a local institution with a track record of showing up for the community and putting people first. Credit Union of Colorado. Honestly good. Learn more at honestlygood.org. Energy Outreach Colorado is a statewide nonprofit helping income-qualified Coloradans pay their energy bills. They support hardworking families facing tough choices between paying utilities and buying essentials like food. Learn how Energy Outreach Colorado is creating affordable energy solutions for Coloradans at energyoutreach.org. Set the summer trend. Electrify your lawn equipment and help reduce harmful ground-level ozone in your Front Range community. Learn more at simplestepsbetterair.org.
Now, back to the show. Thanks for listening today, everyone. I'm David Krause. We are in the peak of summer, and there is a lot going on as a record number of people are out and enjoying the outdoors. Joining me today to talk about a myriad of topics he's reported on recently is outdoors reporter Jason Blevins. Hey there, Jason Blevins.
Hey there, David Krause.
Happy 4th of July weekend. We are taping this on Friday afternoon, and so far hot. I have been doing some wildfire coverage, Jason. As pretty much everybody listening knows, we've had quite a few fires break out in the past couple of weeks. One of those fires is the Snyder Fire, which started June 27th in Utah, quickly moved into Colorado west of Grand Junction. There was a big effort to get folks on the Colorado River and in the area out of the way. Jason, talk about this big major Mesa County search and rescue mission, the folks that you talk to who are involved. You've been on this stretch of river. Give us a sense of this section of the water and what folks told you about the mission.
Yeah, the Ruby Horse Thief Canyon stretch of the Colorado River, you put in Loma, just west of Fruita there off I-70, and you take off at the Westwater Ranger Station, the Westwater put in. Very popular float. It's class 1, class 2, maybe a sprinkle of 3 in there in a couple of spots, but generally a very mellow float, fun overnight, lots of really cool campsites. And people put on there last Saturday, and that Snyder Fire just blew up. And they were saying it was growing at several thousand acres an hour. And sheriffs went in there, and they warned all these campers that, man, this fire's really growing. It's on the campsite side of the river, and they warned everyone that we might be coming back later tonight and hauling you guys out of here. And that's exactly what happened. They got some Union Pacific high rail rigs, those trucks that run on rails, and they ran all the way down there, and they evacuated 123 campers, 6 dogs, and apparently, according to a reader, I missed this one cat rescued, just to give you a clue on how leisurely that float is. And they hauled everybody out. Big 5-6 hour mission, went till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, running people out on the railroad tracks there, and largest mass evacuation ever for Mesa County Search and Rescue. Those volunteers are absolute heroes out there.
Jason, all this comes at a time when we are seeing a record number of folks out enjoying nature. JB, what are the latest numbers for participation rates looking like?
Yeah, we had the Outdoor Industry Association every year. It measures outdoor participation, how many folks are going outside. And what's interesting is that I've been following this for a few decades now, and this report, for years, it sat at below 50%. They could not figure out, what are we doing wrong? How can we get more people outside? How do we have half of the population of the United States not getting outside? Then comes the pandemic. Every year since the pandemic, we're seeing record participation out there. 183.2 million Americans getting outside in 2025. That is 59% of everyone in the country older than 5. And that is a higher participation rate than booze. So the outdoors is beating beer. Look out.
Jason, what surprises you the most? We've talked on the podcast frequently about the post-pandemic surge in the outdoors. What has surprised you the most? Is it the sustained growth that it didn't go back down, or is there a demographic of people who are staying outside? What interesting numbers did you take out of that?
Yeah, since the pandemic, we've seen 30 million Americans considering themselves outdoors, like outdoors folks. They're going outside, they're playing. Those are 30 million newcomers to a sport, to all the sports, all the outdoor participation stuff. So that what the industry is trying to do now is figure out how to make sure they don't lose these people, make sure that they keep these people on board, turn them into more frequent visitors. Right now, they're kind of that casual visitor. They're folks who maybe will go run around a lake or something like that. They're not necessarily climbing 14ers and paddling class 5 yet. That's the whole idea. They really want people to really sink their talons into the outdoors and really become core fans. And that's where this industry is really working hard. And you're seeing, that core participant is not going out as much. Back in 10 years ago, they would go out 87 plus times a year. Now they're down to 65. And that's concerning. And that's a significant, just foundational shift for the outdoor industry, as they've often relied on those folks that go outside all the time. People that ski 100 days a year are going to buy a bunch of skis, are going to buy all their, gears and kits, and people that paddle and climb and pedal and all the things. We really do drive that $1.3 trillion outdoor economy. And now there's these newcomers, and the industry's trying to shift and balance that. Make sure you get good respect for the core and make sure they're happy, but also find a way to welcome these 30 million newcomers. And that's kind of a bit of a challenge. A bunch of new kids on the playground right now, and everyone's trying to figure out how to best accommodate them. And it's an interesting dynamic, but as a lot of the players in the outdoor rec industry say, this is a good problem to have.
Jason, you also wrote about heading into the holiday weekend, but certainly applicable for the entire summer, planning and getting ready as we see wildfires burning, a lot more fire bans enacted, a lot of stage 2 starting to go, so stage 2 fire restrictions starting to go across the Western slope. JB, you wrote, it's officially the know before you go season. What are fire officials warning the public about? We talk about, participation rates. Sometimes people might not know how to put out a fire. I know I camped last weekend near Long's Peak, was surprised to see that you could still have a fire in a ring, in a designated ring at a campsite. But, what's the message out to people as the summer continues to look to be dry and fires keep going?
Yeah, I just drove over from Crested Butte over Cottonwood to Buena Vista, and then Buena Vista all the way over to Fraser Valley, and drove right by that willow fire in Leadville. And there's this concept in the winter that avalanche forecasters have really, really hammered hard. Know before you go. That means check the website, check the forecast, check the weather, check everything you know about where you're going and the aspects and where you might be headed, so that you can safely make calls while you're out in the train. And we're going to kind of push this know before you go season into this fire season and drought. Where, it's not just the fire. You thinking you're going to haul your raft up and jump on a river, and that river's running 200 CFS through Browns Canyon. You are not going to float a raft through there. So there's a lot of, kind of closures out there. There's a lot of drought restrictions. We're starting to see more of these stage 2 prohibitions in fire areas, especially around existing fires, which pretty much ban any outdoor flame. And then there's closures everywhere. We tried to have a somewhat comprehensive story, but it's expanding it almost every hour. There's more closures, there's more things. So it's really important that everybody, before you head out, you just don't pack the trailer and head into the woods this summer, because you really don't know what you're going to find. You may end up to a reservoir with no water in it. You may pull up on a river with no water in it. You may pull up into sweeping swaths of acres that are closed because of wildfire traffic and crazy weather patterns that are moving fire through these areas. So there's a lot going on out there. And, we're pretty good at checking everything before we head out in the winter. So it's turning into a need to do that in the summer as well. And know before you go, there's websites everywhere. It doesn't take a few minutes to really make a plan. And the idea is that if you have a better plan, you can hopefully not be rescued like those 123 folks who needed to be rescued. Not that they did anything wrong. They just went boating, but that fire blew up so quickly, it really caught, they had to get in there and get them out.
I think that's a really interesting point, Jason, because we think, Saturday morning you head out and within hours something happens. Friend of mine was mountain biking up at Turquoise Lake Sunday afternoon when the fire started, and she sent me videos, insane video that all of a sudden here comes the smoke, right? Just outside the hatchery. But it is, to your point, it's kind of crazy how, and especially under these conditions, things can switch on a dime.
Yeah. And we really want to be careful. Like, I don't know if we're going to be really having campfires for the rest of the summer. And, I think it's to sort of implore everyone, even the experts who are out there, to make sure that if there's some folks who are maybe not aware or paying attention and maybe didn't check the know before you go memo before they hit the mountains, maybe it's time to get out there and politely, kindly, inform them that there are fire bans everywhere and we are really having a hot, smoky summer, and we don't need to add to the threat and stress these firefighters even more, or stress these search and rescue teams even more. So everybody needs to play a role in this one, right?
That's right. JB, appreciate the insight. Always fun to catch up on these kind of things. It's going to be a long, hot summer, so I'm sure we'll be talking about this again and your coverage will be up to speed. If you haven't already, you can check out Jason's coverage of the outdoors at our homepage and on our free Colorado Sun app. Jason Blevins, my friend, make it a great week.
Count on it, DK.
Thanks for listening. And finally, here are a few stories that you should know about today.
A long-awaited study of how an 8-foot-tall fence around a billionaire's San Luis Valley ranch affects local wildlife is stirring further controversy in a Colorado land battle. The study found the wire grid fence could harm federally listed Canada lynx and silver spot butterflies, along with a host of other species. A rural hospital near Walsenburg is experimenting with artificial intelligence to recover missing insurance payments. A top administrator at Spanish Peaks Regional Health Center said the hospital is tracking down payment for claims ranging from an average $5,000 to $25,000 each. The Colorado Film Commissioner is revealing her plans as she steps into the position during a kinetic time for the state's film industry. Lauren Sloan's first year on the job will involve gearing up for the Sundance Film Festival in Boulder in January, among other major tasks.
To read these stories and much more, visit our website, coloradosun.com. As an award-winning nonprofit news outlet, we take our mission of credible, independent journalism seriously, and you can check out our trust indicators at coloradosun.com/ethics. Our music is by the Denver-based Matt Skellinger Group. A link to their music is in our show notes, and a special thanks to Swallow Hill Music. I'm David Krause. See you next time.